Good evening. You guys know how this goes, right? If you got a carry on, please put it up in the overhead bins tonight. Please, overhead bins. We got plenty of room tonight. This is Pod 37, politics as usual in Massachusetts. Eddie is ready. Oh, goddamn, Eddie is ready. And I'm about to take you up to 39,000 feet. And if you got a backpack, please put it in the front of you. Make sure it's real tight because things tend to move in flight. But before you do, make sure you grab your Cliff Bars, your vapes, your nips, your Hershey Kisses, whatever your vice might be. Put your trays up because I'm about to take you up. To 39,000 feet. For sure. We got goals in different area codes. Go ahead and populate them and let's get the conversation moving. Turbulence in the chat keeps the plane rocking. This is a message from the flight deck. I'm expecting clear air turbulence tonight. How we doing out there, chat? How we feeling? Huh? It was the summer of 1995.
Yeah. Yo. Summer of 1995, hot night in July. Why did Janet have to die? This is the story of Eddie, Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The system is petty, juvenile law and politics so deadly. 15 years old, known as Big Lovable Teddy. Janet Downing, 42 years old, what's the motive? Killed in her home, young mother devoted. Eddie went in the house, the door was open. She was on the kitchen floor, laying there frozen. Eddie claims this was not what he planned to see. A man with a mask grabbed him. Be quiet. I will kill your whole family. Eddie left the house, ran up the street. Around the corner, washed up in the bathroom at Burger King. Janet was stabbed multiple times. Rest in peace. It was a gruesome murder scene. I agree. Eddie went to his work, said he got jumped, but never said a thing. What? About Janet lying there lifeless. His friend's mother from across the street. Shh. He was in the house. But Janet had a brother-in-law she kicked out for selling drugs. Said if anything ever happened to her, it's him you bring up. The night of the murder he showed up, was acting suspicious in the front yard. Gina in Virginia says he was looking for his keys. It was humid and muggy, but we were showered and neat. He was a cab driver looking for his key. Looking for a key to one of the cabs in the fleet. Yes. How did he know something happened on that street? Eddie says he is innocent, and the cab driver did it.
Who do you believe?
Believe.
DNA under Janet's fingernail unidentified. Who do you believe?
Come on.
This is the story of Eddie, 15 years old.
Life in prison.
This is the story of Janet, life taken and stolen.
For no reason.
It was the summer,
July 1995.
do you all remember?
30 years ago, why she have to die?
15 years old, locked in a cage of murder that he always denied.
Let's go. Summer of 95. Life goes by. Welcome to the stream. Long gamers. Peace and love. La la la. Let's take them back.
Renee says, awesome early flight. I'm going to kick back in first class with the finest fellas on YouTube. The best creators ever. Thank you for being here. The best creators ever. Thank you for being here. Okay, nice. Thank you so much, Renee. Hope you're doing well. Becky gifted 1 J.F.K. membership. Donnie, not Wahlberg, gifted 1 J.F.K. memberships. Miss 808 is looking forward to this. EPAG says, 6:45 flight, 30 minutes notification. Do you want to talk about it? Is everything okay? Happy full moon. Allah Tubis, our crew is awesome. The Justice Crew. April. Avril. 5 JFK.
1の1
All green, everything in the chat for sure, for sure. North Shore 86 became a YouTube member. Renee, 999. Madeline, love you all. Justice for Eddie and Janet for sure. Rose McDonald, there she is. Let's go. Hey, girl. I'm glad we could catch everybody. Hey, Teresa, what up, girl? Free Eddie. All right, I love the picture. I love the picture. And I want to thank all my Mars that are here on flight tonight. What the duck? Don't forget about Natalie. And don't forget about making changes. Norman, Corey, and our girl Josie, but she's on a vacation far away, but she is here in spirit for sure. For sure. Anybody else with a wrench that I forgot? Thank you. I think I see some turbulence coming in. I see a purple chip. Lisa McDonald, the summer of 1995, July. I was 24 getting married. Thank you for an early flight. Thank you so much, Lisa. Now, Lisa McDonald, she always got some great insight with your boy. Um, very smart woman. And she's into this case as well as everybody else. This is part 37. What have we learned, ladies and gentlemen, about this case? Well, we know July 23rd of 1995, Eddie was 15 years old. He was hanging out on the stoop. It was a hot, humid night. It's not like what's going on in Massachusetts right now in January. Freezing. God damn, are you guys cold or what? It's tough. January's a tough in Beantown, Massachusetts. New England, tough. Philly, tough. New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, down the line, all the way to, I mean, all the way to Virginia. I mean, even creeps down here into the south to ATL. It is not too pleasant. It gets a little chilly. Would you believe it? Around January, but not in July. Oh, no, not in July. Beautiful in July. Beautiful, beautiful. July 23rd, 1995, hot, humid night. Everybody was on the stoop. His friends Ryan Downing, Paul Downing. Paul Downing was friends with his sister Jeannie. They went to Revere Beach. Now, Revere Beach is the oldest beach there is. Would you believe it? Everybody hangs down Revere Beach. Somerville people, Charlestown people, Lynn people, Salem people, Chelsea people, East Boston people. Although this beach is all up and down the coast in the North Shore, all the way into East Boston, there's a beach called Constitution Beach. Right there at the, I think it's what is it? What's the train station right there? It's Orient Heights, and then what's the next one? Orient Heights, and then Maverick, right? No, yeah, no, Maverick, Orient Heights, Orient Heights, and then what is it right there where the beach is at? Is it the beach? Is it the blue line, the stop? It's a beach stop, right? And then it goes to Wonderland, right? No, then it goes to Beachmont, then Wonderland. But there's a stop right in between that. There's Wood Island. Yeah, I forget. But the blue line, would you believe it? There's beaches everywhere. Anybody know that stop I'm talking about? I'm sure someone does. Woodlawn now. Wood Island's not the one with the beach, though. Wood Island is right there, right before the airport. It's the one right after Wood Island with the beach. Is it the beach? What's that stop? It's right by the roast beef stop. Now, Beachmont is the other one over there by Revere Beach. Because then it goes Beachmont, then it goes Revere Beach is the next stop. It's the one between, I think it goes there, then Suffolk Downs, right? Man, I forget. I forget. It's been a minute. But anyway, July of 95, they went down to Revere Beach. Jeannie, Paul, and their friend Michelle. And they went down there. And Eddie stayed on the stoop. He stayed on the stoop with his dad and his dad's friend John Roberts, who had a 2-year-old boy. Big Ed had a 2-year-old too, a girl, and he also had a brand new baby that was 2 months old. Ryan left with his friends to go pool hopping or whatever they were going to do, because like I said, it was hot summer night. So Eddie ends up getting in a conversation with a guy named John Roberts, who we actually interviewed. You guys could check the timeline. It's one of these episodes. I don't know exactly which number it is. Constitution Beach. Yeah, that's what it is. Constitution Beach. Well, I knew the beach name, but is that the train stop? I knew that was the name of the beach, but I didn't know if it was the train stop exactly. That's what they called it. It's been a minute since I rode the blue line. It used to be Shades, Miss 808 coming through with the everybody's like Orient Heights. Man, look what they did to the Orient Height projects. My video Can't Lie to God, which is a great video by the way. Can't Lie to God is the last of the Orient Heights projects. They actually was tearing it down when I was shooting a video back in 2021. I got the last images of the old bricks. Now they're all paneled up. Boston has some serious bricks. Fall River still got the bricks, but there was a lot of brick house projects back then for sure. How's everybody doing? So, like I said that night, Eddie just stayed on the stoop, and his father's friend John Roberts, who had a 2-year-old boy, Big Ed O'Brien had a 2-year-old daughter, and he also had a brand new 2-month-old infant in that blazing heat. Ed's dad was in the house. Ed's dad wasn't feeling well. Ed's dad was fighting for his life, so to speak. Oh, 100%. It's a full moon, EPAGs. Wow. I'm looking right at it. Wow. Scary looking, too. Sheesh. Damn, EPAGs. Is that you out there hanging on the moon? But John says, man, Eddie, you want to play basketball tomorrow, John? John said to Eddie, you want to play basketball tomorrow, Eddie? I don't care how big you are. You're 6'2", 200 pounds. Well, let's go down the courts tomorrow. I'll school you, man. I'll put up my points. And he was like, yeah, let's do it tomorrow. He goes, all right, I got to go. He looked down at his watch. It was 8:45. Sun just went down. I got to go. I got this crazy 2-year-old. I got to get out of here. I got to put this kid to bed. These summer nights are messing with the schedule. I got to go. And he says, hey, let me help you. So he walks him across the street with his 2-year-old son at 8:45 on July 23rd of 1995. Would you believe it? He walks him across the street. Then he goes back. He goes back across the street to his house. He puts a VCR tape in for his little sister, his siblings. He looks at his dad. It was around 9:10 p.m. He says, Dad, I'm going to Burger King. I'm out of here, Dad. Dad said, all right, be back shortly. I'm back soon. All right, Dad, I'm gone. He walks across the street. He sees the door open on 71 Boston Street. He thinks Ryan came back from pool hopping or whatever they were going to a pool. You know, having a pool back then was a big deal. Neighborhoods, poor times back then. Generational shit, you know. He opens up the door, he walks in, and what does he notice? He notices Janet laid out in the dining room, bleeding. And how do we know this? Because October of 1995, a man named Riley, a DA. If you would say, what's a Riley? I would tell you, what's a Morrissey? And if you ask me what a Morrissey is, I would say, do you know Karen Reed? And if you said, who's Karen Reed? I would say to you, do you know a Proctor? And if you say no, then I would say, do you know a Sean Ellis? And if you would say, what's that? I would say trial 4. And if you would say, what's a trial 4? Then I would tell you Detective John Mulligan. And if you would say, what's that? I would say, hey, do you know a Charles Stewart? Tentacles, tentacles, tentacles. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know a Deanna Kremen in March of 1995? Do you know a woman named Susan Taravici, I think that's how you say her name, who was working at Northwest Airlines, aka Delta, back in 1991? Went to go to Beachmont Roast Beef right down the street from where we're talking about. And she gets found right there, right before the exit to get to Beachmont in Revere, Massachusetts, East Boston line, in a trunk of a Toyota Tercel. Did the murderer ever get caught? No. So who is O'Reilly? Riley represents all that fuckery. He represents Massachusetts corruption. Pick a case, any case. I dare you to. Do you know Kelsey Fitzsimmons? Do you know Francis Gigalotti? Do you know Miles King? That he had a fight with a cat named Marquis Simmons, and Marquis Simmons' last word was, Miles King shot me, and Miles King's now home on a $10,000 bill. Do you know a young kid right now who's 30 years old named Jacoby Kenny and the South Bay House of Correction, a.k.a. Deer Island in East Boston? There used to be a prison in Winthrop, Massachusetts, basically East Boston, so to speak. They called it the Island. Now, they switched it up in the 90s and put it down there on Mass and Cas, that area, and now it's called South Bay House of Correction. But to the old school people, it's called the New Bay. It's called the Bay. It's called the New Deer Island. That's what they called it for years. And a cat named Jacoby Kenny got strangled by the COs, and he's no longer with us about a month ago. So if you're going to ask me who Riley is, pick a case, any case, and I'll parallel it to that. And I'll tell you, Riley represents all that fuckery. He represents the corruption, the front row seat to the corruption in Massachusetts. So how do we know that when he walked in the house, Eddie O'Brien, after talking to John Roberts, saying, hey, I'll school you in basketball. I'll see you tomorrow. Then he goes across the street, puts a Disney tape in the VCR. Was it a 4-head or was it a 2-head? I don't know. Someone asked Big Ed. Did he have a 4-head VCR or a 2-head VCR? Was it? What type of VCR was it? Was it a Zenith? I don't know. Was it a Sony? What type of VCR do you like? I don't know. Then he said, Dad, I'm going across the street. Seen the door open, thought Ryan was home. Maybe Paul was home. That's what it was back then. Doors open, you slide in. It's the summer of 1995. Janet is on the floor. Janet is bleeding. Janet is no longer with us. Janet's been stabbed 98 times. But how do we know this happened? Because he got arrested for this case. And then when he was in DYS, 3 months later, Riley, a.k.a. Morrissey, so let's pay for a truth serum test and a lie detector test. And let's see what you got to say. And this is what Eddie O'Brien said.
Ryan denied the murder both before and after the drugs were administered. The prosecutor says it means nothing. He says O'Brien told different stories to the same examiner.
He never accounts for the fact that his blood is in that house. He never explains that away in the tape, and he would not have been able to explain that away at trial.
Eddie O'Brien was convicted this fall of murdering his neighbor Janet Downing in her home in 1995. The woman was stabbed repeatedly. Both O'Brien's and Downing's blood were found at the scene. Truth serum evidence has never been used in a criminal case in Massachusetts, nor has it been allowed in any major trial in the United States. And some criminal attorneys say there's a good reason.
Using a truth serum is an attempt to use a medical test for a determination that the jury is supposed to make. Are you telling the truth?
The doctor who administered the drug calls it reliable, saying it's been used clinically for 50 years.
It is new to the forensic field, but in clinical medicine today, it is a valid, reliable tool.
I walked in, right to my left, I saw Janet on the floor. She was laying there all covered with blood.
All covered with blood now?
The blood. The stairs in the hallway.
The bottom line, and
right to my left, right to my...
It's a valid, reliable tool.
I walked in, right to my left, I saw Janet on the floor. She was laying there all covered with blood.
All covered with blood now?
The blood all over the stairs in the hallway.
the bottom line...
Blood all over the stairs in the hallway.
The bottom line...
The blood right to my left, I saw Janet.
In clinical medicine today, it is a valid, reliable tool.
I walked in, right To my left, I saw Janet on the floor. She was laying there all covered with blood.
All covered with blood now.
The blood all over the stairs and the hallway.
The bottom line in all of this.
The bottom line is, Mr. Riley, this is what you got to say. The bottom line is what? He can't account for his blood in the house. But it's funny, you went there that night, didn't you? That night, you went to 71 Boston Street, Riley. That night, let me explain something, right? There's a cat named Oliver Stone who made a movie called Natural Born Killers. And he went on a media run from 94 to 95. The movie actually came out in 94. And then we know how that goes back then. It takes a while to go to VCR tapes, takes a while to go to HBO. So Oliver Stone was getting a lot of pushback for this movie. A lot of pushback. Movie's kind of bugged out, right? It's a weird movie. And basically, he was telling you, Oliver Stone in interviews was talking about obsessions and sexual obsessions and about killing, about like, the mind of a killer, right? And things like that. And that was basically his dialogue. And he was going on a press tour. And he actually went on a PBS special. And back then, there wasn't many stations, right? So Riley looks like a guy that might have been watching PBS. And the reason why I say that is because he turned around and fished through Eddie O'Brien's room, and they found a newspaper. And in that newspaper, there was an article about a couple of kids who went out and killed an older gentleman. And the headline in the Boston Herald was Natural Born Killers, but it had nothing to do with the movie. It was just a headline, just like a header that I put on my YouTube now that says Pot 37, politics as usual. In Massachusetts, Eddie is ready. It's a headline, it's a header trying to get traction. Had nothing to do with the movie. And it was in that paper. And all of a sudden, they paralleled that headline into he was obsessed with the movie Natural Born Killers. He was looking through his telescope, looking at Janet, found out later that you couldn't even see from the position of his room into Janet's room, found that out later. And he wrote up a whole script, Riley, because would you believe that he was trying to pass a juvenile law? Would you believe that he was in it for politics? Politics of murder. Go buy that book right now, Margot Nash, one of my mods. Please put that link up in Amazon so you guys can get familiar with this case. She breaks it all down. She tells you how it is. We had her on this show about 3 or 4 times now. So go back and do your due diligence if you're just getting connected with the Eddie O'Brien case. This is Part 37, and just find Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and so on, and educate yourself. The streams are long. I warn you now, they're 3 to 4 hours. We talk about Eddie O'Brien. We found out a lot. But I'm just telling you about in the intro of Part 37 right now. I'm telling you that Eddie O'Brien jumped off the porch at 9:10 and said, I'm going to Burger King, but went across the street when he seen the door open. By 9:30, he ran out the back of that house because a guy, when he found Janet, like he explains in this video right here, underneath truth serum, which is a mixture of all different pharmaceutical drugs, this 15-year-old kid who was an altar boy, who was in DYS or lockup in Plymouth at this time, which was on prison grounds. He was an altar boy. 3 months later, passed this test with flying colors, which Riley paid for to do. Now, Riley claims in this right here, it doesn't matter about this truth serum test because it's not admissible in court, but he's the one that wanted to get him to admit the truth. Because if he did say he had something to do with it, I'm sure Riley, Mr. Riley, aka Morrissey, little brother or big brother, they would have used it against him. This is what Riley had to say.
Is that Ed O'Brien has
The stairs and the hallway.
the bottom line in all of this is that Ed O'Brien has been convicted of killing Janet Downing. That's never going to change.
The bottom line is Eddie O'Brien. Does that sound like a guy who's on the side of the truth? A DA is all about the truth. He ain't about making things up. If you learned anything about the Karen Reed case, you learned about Hank Brennan, good old Hank B, aka Beetlejuice, a Beetlejuice, a Beetlejuice. He tried to hide things. Not only did he try to hide things, he 100% hid a lot of things. And he wasn't looking for the truth. He was looking for a way to get her convicted in any by any means necessary, hiding the truth. And that's not a DA's job. You have the evidence and you just put it up and you say, this is the evidence. This is the truth, right? You're not trying to beat a case. You ain't trying to defend someone's civil rights. You have the truth. You're the DA. Your job is to look for the truth. That's what our boy Vinny Politan stressed to us many, many nights when he was on his podcast, right, Vinny? And that's just a fact. And that's the simplest way of putting it with a DA. Does that sound like a DA that's looking for the truth? Eddie O'Brien got found guilty, and that ain't never going to change. Well, newsflash, 30 years later, you're on the J.F.K. live stream. You were 52 years old right there, Mr. Riley. You were 52 years old when you said that. That's you at 52. Mr. Riley, that's a pretty rugged 52 years old. It's crazy. Now you're 82, my man. Now you're 82 years old. And would you believe 30 years later, JFK has his own PBS special? Oh, this is PBS, baby. This is PBS. And if you didn't know, I'm about to take you up to 39,000 feet.
Static Selector.
What? 39,000.
Right to my left, I saw Janet on the floor. All covered with blood.
All covered with blood now.
The blood all over the stairs and the hallway.
The bottom line in all of this is that Ed O'Brien has been convicted of killing Janet Downing. That's never going to change.
Well, Mr. Riley, I got news for you. Did you think that in 2025, excuse me, 2026, wow. Did you think in 2026 that we would be playing a video from 1997 of our friend Ma Dukes of what she got to say about you when she was on the stairs? You probably don't want that to get played, huh? In 2026, 82 years old. You all caught up, Mr. Riley? You all caught up? You all caught up?
Yeah.
Now, Eddie O'Brien's alleged crime was so brutal that it prompted a change in Massachusetts law to require that all juveniles charged with first or second degree murder be tried as adults.
Yeah.
Can we hear from Artie, if it's appropriate, can we hear from you? I don't know what to cover.
A terrible injustice has been done by even bringing a man who was totally innocent into this case and injecting his name into this case.
Totally innocent, huh? 30 years later, we found something out. We found out that he said he went in the house.
I went in about 4 or 5 hours after to get the kitty litter box and the kitten. That was it. And what I seen to this day.
There's a problem with that, Mr. Riley. He went in to get the kitty litter and the kitten, but the problem with that is there was no kitty litter and there was no kitten. But there was a big area of inquiry in the trial because there was feline hairs on the body and on the clothing of Janet Downing. A big area of inquiry. How do we know that? Because the world famous, the elegant, intelligent, the one and only Margot Nash, who was there from day one, said so. Oh, by the way, the family testified that there was no cat. The Downing family testified there was no kitty. But this guy, Artie, the cab driver who was looking for a key, that night showed up to the scene so fresh and so clean, hair glowing. Oh, yeah, the hair was wet. Everybody was sweating 97 degrees on a late night, July 23rd, 1995 in the Ville. What Ville we talking about? We talking about Somerville. We talking about Winter Hill. We talking about Middlesex County. We talking about the city, grimy. We talking about old school 90s. What are we talking about? Mr. Riley, you were 52. You're now 82. 1997, you found him convicted on October 1st. Now it's January of 2026, the 3rd. Creeping up real soon will be the 4th year anniversary of Officer John O'Keefe. And you know what he did for us? You know what Officer John O'Keefe did for us? He created justice. He created eyeballs from the sky, from heaven, because now people believe that, holy shit, look how they did him dirty. Look how they did him dirty. The fake love right there, Higgy Bear, right there. Kevin from South Boston, you big bad Brian. Hey, how about you, Julie, with the 6 donuts? What type of donuts do you like? Lemon donuts? Shit, I could go for a lemon donut right now. I could go for a lemon donut. I got a nice coffee. I haven't took one sip because my mind's on a fucking lemon donut. Would you believe it? Mr. Riley, you said that Artie had nothing to do with this and it was wrong for making a third party Artie, but he was on the scene and 30 years later, he told us that he went in the house on an active murder scene 4 or 5 hours later. But the problem with that is the CPAC unit didn't pull up until about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was an active crime scene. And if he did go in the house to get the kitty litter box, which he told us that it was in the kitchen, that's what he told us. The kitty litter box was in the kitchen. So if he did go in that house and they did let him in on a crime scene, which we know that is bullshit, that's all a lie, because we did end up catching him in a lie. But if he did enter that house, the problem with that is, right? Oh, wrong image. The problem with that is that, Mr. Riley, he would have to, if you take a look, ladies and gentlemen. If he went in the house to go get the kitty litter box, which there was no kitty litter box. If he went inside the house, he would have to go through the dining room into the kitchen, which means is he would have to go through the murder scene where she was found. You know what that looked like? They said it was oceans of blood. You know what that looked like, right, Riley? We all know what it looked like. It looked something like this, ladies and gentlemen. That means he would have to walk through that. You see that big shadow? Do you see that big shadow? That's all blood. So they let this guy in, the cab driver who was looking for his key, to go in there to get a kitty litter box because that was so fucking important. And he even described what
I
he
don't wish
seen.
anyone to see what I saw. I went in about 4 or 5 hours after to get the kitty litter box and the kitten. That was it. And what I seen, to this day, I don't wish anyone to see what I saw. I went in about...
So you said when you found him guilty and you did your little press conference, this is what you said.
It's fundamentally...
Did we hear from Artie? It's appropriate. Can we hear from...
They mentioned his day, and this is October 1st of 1997. They mentioned Artie. This is what he said about Artie.
Artie, it's appropriate. Can we hear from you? I know when to cover.
A terrible injustice has been done by even bringing a man who was totally innocent into this case and injecting his name into this case. That's wrong. That's fundamentally wrong and extremely unfair to...
Really? Well, it's extremely unfair that you ran the DNA underneath Janet's fingernails. You ran the DNA underneath both her fingernails exclusively. You ran it exclusively to Eddie O'Brien. And newsflash, breaking news in 2026. Breaking news. Did you know that they ran the DNA underneath Janet's fingernails to Eddie O'Brien and it wasn't a match? But this guy right here, Mr. Riley, a.k.a. Morrissey's older brother, said, put a stop to it. Stop running that. We don't want to see nothing else. It didn't come back to Eddie, put a halt to it, because shortly after this press conference, a week later, he became the Attorney General of Massachusetts. And keep in mind, the guy that you see on the podium right now talking is the DA of Middlesex County, and he tried the case himself. He didn't get somebody like a Hank Brennan. He did it himself. So to draw a parallel real quick, that's equivalent to Morrissey trying the Karen Reed case. He was cool with Weld, and let me tell you something. During the transfer hearing, they agreed to some bail. In the bail reduction, in a bail hearing, a judge said, yeah, you know what? Based on the evidence that I've seen, I think it's okay for Eddie O'Brien to go home. I think it's okay. And they were going to release Eddie O'Brien on a bracelet to his parents. It was a female judge in a bail hearing. Mr. Riley, once he heard that, and keep in mind, this is already a bail reduction. This is already a bail hearing. This is a totally separate hearing to get his bail knocked down from no bail to a bail. And the judge checked the evidence out, knew the seriousness of it. Now, keep in mind, allegedly, he walked across the street and stabbed this woman 98 times for no fucking reason because he was obsessed, right? And she was going to release him and let him go home on a bracelet right across the street from where the crime happened. Now, obviously, she did her homework and checked everything out. And what she seen was like, hey, I don't know about this. This don't seem right. Because why would she let a killer go right back across the street from where the killing happened? Think about that for a minute. What type of donuts do you like? Did you think about that? I want lemon. What do you want? Did you ever have the sour cream donut? They don't have it in Boston, but they have it in the South. It's called the sour cream donut. Do you like it? How about a cruller? What up, Becky? No, but I'll try it. It's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. Crullers can buzz off. Shit, CT. All you had to talk about donuts. Now I'm in the truck headed to Dunkin'. There we go, Renee. Let's go. Sour cream glaze. God damn, pretty. A jelly cruller. Oh man. J.F.K. We are donut twins for sure. Absolutely. I see the AV for sure. I have never heard of a sour cream donut. That's what it's called, right? It's called the sour cream. Someone Google that. I'm pretty sure it's called sour cream. Chocolate with sprinkles. Nice. Josie Lou, she's back. I'd rather a hot and ready Krispy Kreme, honestly. Goddamn. Goddamn. They got them out here too. Yeah, it's called the sour cream. I'm pretty sure it's called the sour cream, right? Let me Google that for a second, man. It's called the sour cream. They got them down here. I know they had them in Baltimore too. I remember I did a show out in Baltimore, and I went inside the Dunks and I seen it. I know it's sour something, but they don't have them in Boston. They're pretty good though. I don't know if it's called sour cream donut. Let me see. Yeah. It's called the. Let me see. Yeah, it's the Dunkin' Donuts sour cream donut. Is a popular tangy glazed cake donut known for its moist, dense, almost pound cake-like texture. Thanks to thanks to sour cream in the batter, offering a rich flavor without being overly sweet. It's often described as an underrated gem. God damn! Yo! An underrated gem. Holy shit. Oh man. You know what I gotta do for that? Oh man. That's wild for the night. That is wild for the night. An underrated gem. Jesus. You gotta be real quiet when you're talking donuts.
Static Selector.
Yeah. Boston. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Boston.
Static Selector.
Yeah. Boston. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Boston.
Static Selector.
Yeah.
We got some turbulence in the chat for sure. Lisa McDonald says freezing is an understatement. Aunt B gifted 5 JFK memberships. Thank you so much. E Pags, my girl. I don't know, but my school, UMass Boston, is JFK. Thank you for that. Rose Marie from Florida catching up on Eddie and mass cases for sure. Becky coming through next summer, long game of beach tour, so we can find out the name of the beach for sure. It's Constitution Beach. I know that. I just didn't know the stop on the train. Law Talkers, if you're not a member, consider getting a membership. Every membership helps the investigations in a fight for justice. Free Kelsey. There she is. Taking one for the team tonight. Force Family Fun at WWE. Laugh out loud. Oh, you going to see WWE? That's dope. Gifted 1 JFK membership. Cynthia, what up, girl? Goals. Renee. I'm doing okay, JFK. Thank you for the well wishes. Jay Burrow, Kevy, and everybody who asked. Much love. Okay. Becky. Gifted 1 JFK membership. Erin, 1 JFK membership. Sandy, there she is. Mr. Postman. Look and see if there's any letters from me. Drop Eddie a post, everyone. That's awesome. Diane, Tom Riley did to Eddie O'Brien what Mike Proctor did to Karen Reed. Comment needs to come for Riley. Free Eddie. Goddamn. Josie Lou. I thought she was on a vacation. I thought she had her feet in some nice warm water. I thought she was chilling, sipping on some pina coladas on the beach, but she's back. She's back. She got a wrench. She's part of the Not Fucking Around crew. She is here in 2026. Josie Lou, you're one of a kind with a golden heart. Thank you so much, Josie Lou. Miss Ada Way, get yourself many lemon donuts. Definitely will, Miss 808, for sure. Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a great one, for sure. Donnie Not Wahlberg. Hey, it's Donnie. What's going on, brother? Do you want a lemon donut? You want a chocolate frosted? What do you think, the only one with a donut? I like munchkins. I don't give a shit. Iced coffee, cold coffee, whatever you want to call it. I just want it with ice. I don't like Starbucks. That's for bougie people. I'm from Dorchester. Donnie Not Wahlberg. $10. Can you grab us some munchkins? I will. And Becky coming through with $20 sour cream donuts for everyone. God damn. God damn. WWE's in Worcester tonight. Oh, that's awesome. Today's Saturday, right? So what are they? So it's just a house show, huh? So, our guy, 30 years later, we found out that Adi allegedly went in the house. And if he did go inside 71 Boston Street like he claims he did, he would have to walk through the dining room of the murder scene to go to the kitchen to get the imaginary kitty litter box. And that's what the murder scene looked like, ladies and gentlemen. And this is our boy Riley. The day,
Absolutely no indication, no.
the day of the verdict. Let's go back to 1997. The family's there. What you see right there, you see on the left hand, or my right, your left. I think that's how that goes. You see that's Paul Downing, the one that's in the vest. That's Kerry Downing, the one that's next to him. Then there's Riley, and then there's Kerry Ann, her daughter, the older one. And this is what they said during the press conference. If you look at what it says in the headline, the jury has found Eddie O'Brien guilty. It says sexual obsession murder trial. This guy drew up a script. Now keep in mind, there was three male DNAs in the house. 3 unidentified male DNAs in the house. Unidentified. 3 male DNAs in the house, but it wasn't in any report, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't in any report. Eddie O'Brien was in the law library sparring. He was reading every night. And he found out a way to get the notes from Riley, the notes, because the notes is the buildup. The notes is the Bible. The notes is the whole script. They write it up. If one thing you learned about the Karen Reed case, you've seen Alan Jackson. When he was writing a summation, go over it and over it. He was in the car speaking to Yannetti about it. Yannetti was like, that's fabulous. It's like a battle. It's theater. That's what the courtroom is. You don't think it is? Look at our boy. Why is everybody like Betterow? Because every time he gets on a live stream, he performs because he loves the theater, boy. Your Honor, the preponderance of evidence, likely that they did in section 54321, section fuckery, donuts, sour creams, honey buns, and don't forget about it's all theater. So he was writing it all down. And inside the notes, would you believe they found out that there was 3 unidentified male DNA in the house that never was ran, never was brought, never was in any report, but it was in Riley's notes. Riley, you all caught up? You all caught up, Adi? How about you, Riley? Y'all caught up? So is Betterow officially off the tuberculosis teams? I don't know. I don't know. Is he? Is that new news? I'm just over here on pot 37. I got things to do. But later tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we take swims. At 12 a.m. tonight, I will be back taking a swim. Swim good. Nothing good happens after midnight for my enemies. We're okay over here. Nothing good happens after midnight. Yes. Not for the long gamers, though, but for our enemies. Because God got us. He's going to serve it on up for them. So tonight, we're going to play beats. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. Because this pushback, we have to stand up. We have to correct the record. But today, this evening, 7:40, J.F.K. is here with you. And we're on pot 37 of Eddie is Ready. Politics as usual in Massachusetts. We found out in his notes there was 3 male DNAs that he never ran, never touched. We know for a fact there that none of the DNA in the house was Eddie's. Who's the other 3? The DNA underneath Janice's fingernails under both. There was hair in her hand. There was cat hair on her. How'd that get on her? She doesn't have a cat. How does that work? Huh? Hmm.
To require that all juveniles charged with first or second degree murder be tried as adults.
Yeah.
Did we hear from Artie? Is it appropriate? Can we hear from you? I don't want to start
A terrible injustice has been done by even bringing a man who was totally innocent into this case and injecting his name into this case. That's wrong. That's fundamentally wrong and extremely unfair to him. There's absolutely no indication, no item of evidence, anything that would point
Other than physical evidence, did you look at any data evidence?
I don't know what you mean, data.
Like data you would find on a evidence other than physical evidence. Did you look at any data evidence?
I don't know what you mean, data.
Like data you would find on a cell phone. When you were doing differential diagnosis, did you look at any information that would tell you?
When you were doing differential diagnosis, did you look at any information?
As you guys can see, your boy keeps hitting his button by mistake. We found out through a reliable source. We don't know how fact it is, but it's pretty reliable. Sorry for the mute situation. Goddamn. Kevy Kev, where are you? Jay Brill, save your boy. I'm working too. We found out through a source that there's new experts on the Eddie O'Brien team. I don't know how factual it is, but I can tell you that it's a pretty reliable source. I'm putting it out there because I'm probably at 75% that this is true. Robert George had no experts to debunk anything in October of 1997. Now, 30 years later, we have a woman. You guys might know her.
Evidence other than physical evidence. Did you look at any data evidence?
I don't know what you mean, data.
Like data you would find on a cell phone. When you were doing differential diagnosis, did you?
Jay Bro, it's 100% true. So we moved it on up. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's 100% Dr. La Posada is now a part of the Eddie O'Brien Commission.
Did you look at any information that would tell you any evidence other than physical evidence? Did you look at any data evidence?
I don't know what you mean, data.
Like data you would find on a cell phone. When you were doing differential diagnosis, did you look at any information that would tell you?
When you were doing differential diagnosis, did you look at any information that would tell you?
What the speed of that impact may have been or allegedly was?
Well, it didn't hit him, so it doesn't matter.
What you talking about, Will?
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum.
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you?
Is Riley Barrows, you out there? Is Riley a good DA? Was he a good DA?
Absolutely not.
Did Riley get justice for Janet Downing?
Absolutely not.
Thank you, Barrows. We can always count on you. So that day.
So number 12 right here. That's not present in either Janet Downing nor Edward O'Brien, is it?
That's right.
What does that mean?
Well, what do you mean? What does that mean?
What does that mean, lady? What does that mean? That DNA, it wasn't present on the hilt of the knife. It wasn't Eddie O'Brien's, right? You're the professional, right?
What does that mean?
Well, what do you mean? What does that mean?
Well, it came from somewhere else, didn't it?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
That number 12 came from another person's blood, didn't it?
It may have come from another person's blood.
No, it didn't, May. It did.
Clown! You are a clown! A clown!
This lady, see, keep in mind, he tried to get in the DNA underneath the fingernails, but they blocked them. They wouldn't let it in for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason was to get the DNA ran. I have no idea. Margot Nash broke it down to us. But they got the hilt of the knife was there, and it had another DNA on it, and it wasn't Eddie's either. So the alleged hilt of the knife, the murder weapon, or one of the murder weapons, something that was used in the murder, was found with blood on it, and it was not Eddie O'Brien's blood. It was another person's blood.
Item of evidence.
That's nor Edward O'Brien.
Let's check it out.
Item of evidence, anything that would point in that direction. So
Number 12 right here. That's not present in either Janet Downing nor Edward O'Brien, is it?
Number 12, it's not present in Janet Downing or Eddie O'Brien.
That's right.
That's right. Okay, what does that mean, lady?
What does that mean?
Well, what do you mean? What does that mean?
You know what it means. There's a 15-year-old kid on trial for murder. Is it his fucking blood or not, lady? It's someone else's, right? Do you not know where you're at? What do you think you're at, Burger King? What do you think you're at, Dunkin' Donuts? What type of donuts do you like? Huh? Huh? What planet you on? Huh?
Well, it came from somewhere else, didn't it?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
That number 12 came from another person's blood, didn't it?
It may have come from another person's blood. That's correct.
Oh, really?
Political career was on the line, and that's all he cared about. And I don't know how that man sleeps at night. I'll tell you.
Her son was in the house when she went down the stairs. You heard the testimony of the neighbor that heard her go down the stairs at 8:15. Adi Ortez's cab had to be towed from Hamlet Street where the blood...
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the lovely, beautiful Ma Dukes, Trisha O'Brien, Big Ed. Young. He was younger. Still young people. A little older now. They're still doing great. The O'Briens, great people. Fabulous people. Wonderful people. But they got asked the question, who do you think did it? Listen to their reaction.
drops were going...
Keep in mind, it's October 3rd of 1997. Keep in mind, it's October 3rd of 1997, or October 1st. I forget exactly what day. I think it's either the 3rd or the 1st of 97, the day he got found guilty.
Going down the hill. The judge would not allow that to get out in court.
Who do you think did it? Lady says. Who do you think did it?
The judge would not allow that to get out in court. Adi Ortiz.
Oh, Adi Ortiz, the same guy who says,
I went in about 4 or 5 hours.
This is Adi Ortiz in November of 2025. Talking to J.F.K, Jay Brill, Keffy Kev, live at the Fuckery Donuts where we serve jelly donuts. Now serving the underrated gem, the sour cream donut. We got merchandise too. If you guys go buy a t-shirt. Everybody in the chat, go buy a t-shirt today. Fuckery Donuts, wear it. And then when someone says, why are you wearing that shirt? Say, did you ever have a sour cream fuckery donut? And if they say no, say it's the underrated gem. And then after they say, really? Hit them with a JFK for me and say, would you believe it? Would you believe it? Would you? Do that now.
I was after to get the kitty litter box and the kitten. That was it. And what I seen, to this day, I don't wish anyone to see what I saw. I went in about 4 or 5 hours after to get the kitty litter box and the kitten. That was it. And what I seen, to this day, I don't wish anyone to see.
Well, that day for sure. Outside the courthouse. This is right after they got found guilty. They already knew it was you. Let's just listen what Trisha got to say.
And if anybody can't see that, they're blind.
Okay. In court.
Adi Ortiz. And if anybody can't see that, they're blind.
Who do you think did it?
Adi Ortiz.
Who did?
Audi Ortiz. Audi Ortiz. Audi Ortiz. And if anybody... Audi Ortiz.
In court.
Audi Ortiz.
In court.
Audi Ortiz.
In court.
Audi Ortiz.
In court.
Audi Ortiz. And if anybody can't see that, they're blind.
Okay. 10 hours of her life was...
So keep in mind, 10 hours of her life, she spent that on the stoop with a woman named Janet Mahoney, and she told Janet to
really look at the evidence.
Gate.
Really look at the evidence.
Investigate.
Really look at the evidence.
Investigate. If anything happens to her, she said that weird things was going on. I mean, she even went to the extent to say she went downstairs and there was something hanging on the beam of the basement. Kitty litter, kitty poo, wrapped up. We asked Artie, was you around? Was you living? Because keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, a lot of people know about this case, but for the ones who don't know, Artie Ortiz is the brother-in-law of Carol. Is the brother-in-law of Janet Downing. He is married to Carol Downing at the time, who is Janet's sister. They were living at 71 Boston Street, March of 1995. Janet kicked him out the house because he was slanging the bud. And if you don't know what bud is, it's pot. If you don't know what pot is, it's weed. If you don't know what weed is, put down the blunt and calm the fuck down. You know what it is. Matter of fact, you smell like weed. You can't come in my house. All right? Spray some cologne. What type of cologne do you like? Do you like Obsession? Do you like J.F.K? We're going back in time in the 90s. You like Polo, the green bottle? What are you wearing now? The Dolce? The Gucci? The Burberry? What are you wearing? The Creed? Ladies, you wearing that pink shit? What's going on? But she kicked him out the house. You got to go. Pack it all the way up. But when he was living in the house, there was weird things going on. People were moving her stuff around. Someone put things in Janet Downing's coffee. Someone put windshield wiper fluid or something like that. I forget. Was it in her coffee? Norman Corey, let me know. Someone help me out. There was so many weird things happening. Calvin Klein, Versace. The woman is smelling good in here. CK1 Jupe. Goddamn. Jupe. Cool water. Nice. The Jupe, man, huh? Damn, who got the Louis Vuitton Symphony? God damn, the Louis Vuitton Symphony. Oh,
Question mark, an exclamation point. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, an exclamation point with some question marks, question mark with a couple of exclamation points and then some type of emoji. Quotations, it's a smiley face. Question mark, exclamation point. What do you want?
The Louis Vuitton Symphony, holy shit! Smelling good, we looking good. We smelling good, we looking good. We taking it up to 39,000 feet. Let's go, people. Renee, she made it home with her son in the sour cream. She made it home with her son in the sour cream. Would you believe it? Kevy Kev says, I'll be at the swim for sure. Smash that like button. Kevy Kev's going to swim good. Lisa McDonald coming through again with another 50. Thank you so much. Someone needs to share their Adderall so I can take the red eye. God damn. Hold on a minute. Holy shit.
Now this shit is set in stone. I can't leave my craft alone. Now I barely see my home.
Lisa McDonald. What up, Lisa? Holy shit.
From the bottom, now I rose. Now this shit is set in stone. I can't leave my craft alone. Now I barely see my home.
Static Selector.
Barely see my home.
Power Wild Baby. Hey, from the start, all I had was hustling hard. The struggle is my fuel, but I do not harp. A lot of long nights hitting licks when it's dark. When bills due, me and lazy people depart.
Ain't nothing going on but the rent. It's July 3rd, 2026. How we feeling, long gamers? Put your one up in the chat if you rocking with J.F.K. Let's go!
Because I was having Jen get the baby blankets to wrap around him.
I went in about 4 or 5 hours after to get the.
Here's a rap song based on your lyrics and fame.
Because I was having Jen get the baby blankets.
Hey man, what's up guys? Kevin from South Boston.
So what we found out was on the stairs, this is the O'Briens now. This is in front of the State House. The fight continues. Eddie O'Brien, 30 years in prison. This is real life, people. He's been down 30 years. And the stigma is, now that he did 30 years, it's kind of like people are just like, well, he's been in jail 30 years. Time is not your friend when you're behind the wall. It's not your friend. Because fighting a case from the inside is never a good thing. It's never a good thing. If Karen Reed had to fight the case from the inside, it would have been a horrible thing. It wouldn't have been the black truck, the 1,000 people outside, the clapping, the coffee, the bagels, the Gucci guilty, the obsession, the Jakar, the sour cream donuts. No, it wouldn't have been none of that. It would have been shackles, handcuffs, country music, and every speed bump and every bump, a red light, all the way from the prison to the basement. Well, in Dedham Superior, it's upstairs. To upstairs in the bullpen. She wouldn't have been taken care of right. She has health issues. Something like 20 surgeries she had in a short period of time. We do know that she has issues with MS. She doesn't have a colon. All the things you do not, I repeat, all the things, all the issues you 100% never would want to be in any institution, never mind a prison or jail, being held on bail for the death of John O'Keefe for a Boston police officer trying to get help for your misfortunes, for your health issues. I got a cold. Here's a Motrin. I don't feel good. Here's a Motrin. Do you know in Nashua Street back in the 90s in the jail, but the night before court, they would give you Benadryl? If you was on the court list, the nurses would look at the court list who had court the next day, and they would give everybody a Benadryl. They would say, do you want a Benadryl so you can go to sleep? Because some people couldn't sleep the night before. See, you're going to court the next day, you're anxious as shit. If you're going to court every other week, like Eddie was doing for a murder case, you realize you're just going to be going back to the jail. That's what you're going to realize. But if you don't have a murder case and you think there's any hope for you to get out on a bail, or they might drop the case, they might come to a disposition, you're anxious. So they give you Benadryl to knock your ass out. Would you believe that was a practice? I got a headache. Here's a Motrin. My hand fell off. Here's a Motrin. I'm puking up blood. Here's a Motrin. I'm dying. Here's a Motrin. I'm having an anxiety attack. Here's a Motrin. Last place you want to be if you're Karen Reed or anybody that suffers from serious health issues or mental health issues for that matter. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? What the duck, my girl, Mother Duck. Things that happen, cabs surrounded Janet. Things being moved around the house. Okay, so let me take it back. Thank you for What the Duck jumping in real quick. What the Duck helping me to stay on course tonight. What the Duck, Mother Duck saving her boy J.F.K. Don't let me crash out. We got to stay steady on the flight. I hear you, Mama Duck. I hear you. I'm right here. Mic check to the guards. This is a message from the flight deck. What the Duck got the mic. She says the things that JFK is talking about, all the odd things that were happening, March of 1995, to get back on track, Adi got kicked out the house. But when this was happening, I asked Adi in 2025, was you present during any of these weird happenings that was happening to Janet? And he said, yeah, I was there. I was there when the kitty litter was hung up. I was there when all these weird things were happening. So he corroborated the story that these weird things were happening, which she sat on the porch that whole day before her murder, before she died. The day of the 23rd, she sat on the stoop with Gina Mahoney having coffee, and she says, investigate, investigate, investigate. If anything happens, I am scared of Adi Ortiz. These are the things that's been happening to me. I don't know who's been doing it, but I think it was Artie. And these are some of the things What the Duck points out that was happening. They sounded crazy. Her whole family thought she was crazy. But Artie was living there. He was in his 30s, and he corroborated and said they did happen. Now, he was selling weed, bud, pot. If you don't know what that means, put the weed out. Stop smoking so much. You know what the hell I'm talking about. He was selling pot in that house, which means he had a stash spot, which means he had re-up money. If you were finding out people were moving things around and messing with you, playing mind games, or was in your house without you knowing, you're going to be upset. You're going to think the first thing they're going to do is they're going to take your weed, or maybe they're there for you. Maybe they know you're the hustler. They're trying to rob you. But that didn't cross Adi's mind. He didn't say that. but he said these things were happening. Well, they wouldn't bother him, right, ladies and gentlemen, if he was the one that was doing it. And here are the things that was happening. If you guys are reading up on the screen right now, and I'm about to read it now, things that happened. Cabs surrounded Janet. Things being moved around the house. Clothes appearing in Erin's closet, not hers. Christmas ornaments left around the house. Windshield washer fluid on her car seats. Erin missing keys and perfume in the coffee J. Brill. And keep in mind the kitty litter was hanging on the beam in the basement, and nobody had a cat. But Adi went in the house to get the kitty litter box. But the testimony in 1997, no one had a cat. Sandy, 4.99. Her heart breaks for the parents. They paid too. Yes, they did. R.I.P. Janet Downing. Yeah, stop with the nasty weed. Oh, man. Adi also said he was never arrested or didn't have a problem with drugs, both a lie. Norman Curry found out in 2005 he actually restraining order put against him because Carol Ortiz said he put a knife to her. The same woman who had a sister that was stabbed 98 times 10 years prior. And Adi Ortiz had a restraining order and was arrested for violation of that restraining order, with Carol saying that he got 98 times. He divorced her after around that time. It was only 10 years. But when he came on the show, ladies and gentlemen, like Norman Corey points out, thank you, Norman, he never said he got arrested. He said he was clean. He never been in trouble. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was a fucking lie. He was stalking his wife. Thank you, Norman Corey. Did Adi say he was never arrested or he didn't have a record? I noticed something someone we know recently said about themselves and they worded it, but I don't want to get petty. Well, I know that's someone you're talking about. And if you have a closed record or you got your record sealed, if you're going to testify, that's a question that I have to ask a lawyer. But if you testify and even if your record is sealed, I think that they could still bring up your record for whatever reason. Or they could say your record was sealed. I don't think because your record is sealed, they can't bring it up. I think your record is sealed, like just for the reasons of like if they run like credit checks or like rent, like for rent, buying houses and things like that. But as far as like in a court of law, I don't know. That's a question. If your record's sealed, like yeah, it's sealed, and nah, I think they could still bring it up. Chrissy Jooms, love notification that you guys are on. Free Eddie. Another live from Adi. JFK asked him, "You ever been arrested?" He said, "No." Exactly. Norman Corey. Exactly. I think it's just sealed to the public. Cocaine Adi. Goddamn. He needs all that nasty out and restart. You just hear how people word things and realize easily misinterpret it. You guys are having a conversation about abscess and dental infections. I mean, let me tell you something, man. The guy that we're talking about with the nasty grill, God bless the dude, man. Not everybody was born with a good pair of teeth or whatever, you know? And you'd be surprised what dentists could do. You know, he could get all that shit fixed. You know, the thing is, man, the guy just, that particular guy's people in the chat chatting about, we're going to talk about him tonight. He just has no compassion. He's just a weird dude. And that has nothing to do with me hating on him, you know? I try everything to try to, I don't want the dude to bow down to me or anything like that. That's not what I'm looking for, you know? But I'm just looking for a little bit of compassion, a little bit of like, all right, maybe I was, and vice versa, and move forward. But that guy, he's not that type of guy. He's like Artie. He just feels one way. He thinks he's above it all. And fuck you if you don't agree with him. So you know what? We're going to swim. We're going to take swims. We're going to get deep. But everything. No, absolutely not. If you record, it's sealed or sealed. Let me see. If your record is sealed, is it sealed? You get court order to open it. I mean, like I said, I think in a court of law, if you're going to testify, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to testify in a court of law and you have a sealed record, I mean, like, let's just say, like one of my guys, like Jimmy, like, or any of my guys, that have a criminal record. If you get arrested or if you're going to be a witness in a case, I'm sure the sealed record is not going to protect for them to try to take on your credibility, like to say, hey, isn't it true you got arrested this year for this? And have you ever been arrested? Like, I don't think like a sealed record protects you from that if you have to take the stand. So, if the question was with the guy calling, talking about the stand or whatever, like, I don't have a record. Just because it was sealed does not mean you don't have a record. That just means your record got sealed. That doesn't mean you didn't get arrested. That doesn't mean, and then the dispositions too. You know what I mean? You could have got found guilty for a bunch of cases, and then a certain amount of time went by and you got it sealed where no one could actually find it, or they have to, like someone mentioned, the court order or something like that. But that doesn't mean that you didn't get found guilty for cases or you didn't have a record. I think it's a little bit different to say, I never been arrested. That's different than saying I don't have a record. Well, why don't you have a record? Oh, your record got sealed. Well, that doesn't mean you didn't get arrested, nor does that mean you didn't get found guilty for something. So, that's a good thing you got it sealed. That's not a bad thing, but that doesn't mean you wasn't convicted of something. Does that make sense? Margot, there she is. That would be a pretrial matter. Goddamn, Margot Nash. Holy shit. We going up.
J.F.K.
Spending in time.
Can't sleep.
Everybody got two hands, right? But it's like I'm always lending one.
Lullaby and good night. Don't let the bed bugs bite. It's time for owner gets to sleep. Good night. Sleep is the cousin of death. It's like you when you sleep. It's like you hold your breath. Daily I wake up on the wrong side of the bed and I hold my head. Ain't no time yes for lullabies, cause if I can't sleep, the world stays up with me.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know how we do it. We got Margot Nash in the chat. If it wasn't for Margot Nash, 30 years of her work, judge would decide if you inquire about a sealed record. We have the one and only, the intelligent, elegant She should be the DA in every county. A woman that's on the side of justice. A woman that is very smart. Great woman. Did so right for Eddie. He's been there every step of the way. She believes in Eddie's story. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't know nothing about this case. She's here. She jumps in the chat. She lets us know. She guides us. If you had one word in 2026, one word to describe Margot Nash, what would it be? Let's go, people. One word for Margot. Let's go. One word for Margot. Woo!
Static Selector.
Trisha O'Brien is in the chat. She says Margot is loving. Would you believe? Message from the flight deck. Message from the flight deck. Margot Nash says, for all you haters out there, she is not a liar. She is on fire. Put your ones up in the chat if you want to see Eddie home in 2026. Ones up in the chat if you want to see Eddie home in 2026. I want to see your ones.
Static Selector. Man, that's a lot of love, man. Eddie, Big Ed, Trisha, Margot. That's a lot of love, man. And I just got one thing to say to Adi. You all caught up, Adi? Do you see that, Adi? They want to see Eddie home in 2026. They all want to see Eddie home. And he done. Ed done enough time. God damn. Relentless. I mean, the ones are crazy. The long gamers ain't playing. Love notifications. Thanks for the $5. I appreciate it. Got a clue 508. Chrissy June, Sandy. Y'all caught up, body? So there's a lot of things going on inside that household. A lot. They said investigate, investigate. In the back.
With Gina
Our son,
Mahoney.
15 years old.
In the back of, I take it that was Gina, in back of them, saying for 10 hours she was with Janet, and Janet said, investigate, investigate, investigate everything we're talking about, the perfume and the coffee and the JFK, what's in your hat? What's in your hat? What's in my hat? I don't know. What's in my hat? You tell me what's in my hat. How about a super chat in my hat? You got a super chat for my hat? You got a super chat for my hat? How about a sour cream donut? An underrated gem. Do you know about that? Did you ever see a sour cream hat? You like my hat? I wear a hat. I like my hat. It's a great hat. It's a Boston Celtics hat. What's on my? It's a Celtics hat. I know what she means. I'm just joking with her. It's a Celtics hat. Anything you see on me is always Boston and the Celtics. Yeah, it's a cool hat. I actually got this from my buddy Static. It's like, it's a pretty cool hat if you check it out. It's got like a leather brim to it, like reptile skin. Some b-boy shit. These are vintage frames right here. You know what I mean? This is like fly shit, you know what I mean? But you got to be like in that, some people don't know about this. The flat brim, I mean, I'd rather have a flat brim than eat 10 flatbread sandwiches and invisible bagels. And we do have a song tonight called Invisible Bagels, dedicated to somebody. Oh, wait till you see the flight tonight. Oh, we're going to swim good. Oh, we're going to swim good. We're going to go for a swim. We're going to use them muscles that we never knew we had. We're taking swimming lessons. We know when it's dark, there is seals in the surf, which means there could be great whites. But keep in mind, we are one with the orcas. We are family. We are a pod. We communicate. We're intelligent. What's a great white to an orca? We're going to swim good tonight, 12 a.m. Nothing good happens after midnight. Oh, yes. Nothing good happens after midnight. You're right. For our enemies. Because we rest in God. We'll let God take care of them. We'll be all right. We're going to take a swim. Swim good. So as this was going on, I think when they was outside, was that October 3rd or October 1st of 97? Was this October 3rd or October 1st, Margot or Trisha? Was it the 3rd or the 1st? I think it was the 3rd, right? The day he got found convicted. The 3rd on 7th Street. No, I think it's October 30th. No, it wasn't the 30th. We're about to find out, though. We're about to find out. It was the 1st. Wow, your man JFK's on point. Goddamn.
Like my stomach was growling, and tomorrow came. Like I was hungry by myself.
Tomorrow came. October 1st. October 1st, 1997. Now, in back of you talking about, we heard on the camera, was that Gina talking in back? Because they didn't let Gina. So, ladies and gentlemen, they wouldn't let Gina Mahoney's testimony in because somehow or another Robert George messed up the timeline. They were going to let her testimony in because they said it was hearsay, but they were basically trying to let her testimony in for the state of mind that Janet was in before her death. And her state of mind, obviously, before her death, is she was afraid. She was afraid of Adi Ortiz. Somehow or another, Robert George messed up the timeline and said that it was from a couple of weeks before or a week before, and it didn't coincide with the right timeline the judge wanted as far as her mindset at that particular time, if that makes sense. So they didn't let Gina Mahoney's testimony in, which was so messed up because I think that would have changed everything. Let's keep other people's drama out. Bob George, all he cared about was the money. You're right. They messed up the dates. Exactly. They messed up the dates. Thanks, Kat. They messed up the dates. My long gamers are here. If I say anything wrong, keep in mind my long game is we've been here. We learned this case together. We all learned on the job together on this chat. So for the ones that are new here, don't worry about it. Just keep up with the chat. And if I say something wrong, they will correct me and we will get through it because it's a lot. This case is a lot. This is not an easy case. There's a lot of tentacles, a lot of witnesses. And the good thing about it is they're still around. And we got a lot of them on this show. We interviewed a lot of people. But we haven't interviewed the family, the Downings. There's some questions we got for them. But on this day, I think it back of if Trisha can answer this. I don't know if she already did. Let me see. When you was out there in the front of Cambridge Jail, that's what I like to call it. I'm pretty sure that's what you guys called it too, because you went to visit him there. Trisha, that Gina in back of you talking about she was with her in the back screaming, they was with me for 10. She was Janet was with me for 10 hours or 5 hours in the back of the in the back of you when the cameras were rolling. Was that her? The DA messed up the dates. They can't happen, right? Not like inverting a video at a Sallyport for real. Welcome, Kimberly. Good night making changes. He's going to sleep already. He's going to sleep at 8:33 on a Saturday. What's he been smoking? What's he been smoking? Lady Zelda said something important would happen today. 10-3. You announced Dr. La Posada is on the team, Eddie. Wow. Would you believe it? Would you believe it? Gina was there. That was my cousin Ann yelling. Okay. See, I love the fact that we're even getting them facts down. You know what I mean? So in back of
Spent on the porch with Gina
Son,
Mahoney.
15 years old. I mean, give me a break.
Let me tell you something. This right here is a movie. And I mean that with all due respect, because this is not a movie to them. This is real life to Trisha, real life to Eddie. But this right here, Trisha right here, this was so passionate. You know, we seen Karen Reed go on the cab calling all beings. And if you didn't see it, Trisha, you can go to that or Eddie. I don't know if you guys are interested, but if you guys want to see Karen Reed about I think it's interesting and compelling. She was on a show, Calling All Beings. She spoke about the PTSD of what she's going through after fighting these trials. I think it's very compelling because if Eddie comes home, he's going to be fighting the same battles. But the point is, you see the passion. And this reminds me of Karen, especially in that space, because this case became all Trisha knows. Trisha knows this case in and out, just like anybody that has a serious court case, especially a murder case, which is it's a tricky thing. It's the hardest thing to prove, but the hardest case to beat, so to speak, right? And they learn so much about the law, right? Trisha did, Big Ed. They learned so much. And so the law now became a part of them, something they probably never even knew they had a passion for. It's something they learned. And it's like Karen, the law, when the law tries to take you down, you have to correct the record. In the words of Mikey Crawford, tonight we correct the record. I love that, Mikey Crawford. I love that. Tonight we correct the record, and that's what we're doing every night. We're correcting the record every night. This is pot 37. We're correcting the record, and Ann was in the back of Trisha saying, what about the 7-8 hours that she was in over Gina's? Saying she was afraid. Investigate, investigate, investigate. She said it 3 times. Investigate, investigate, investigate.
Really look at the evidence, you'll see the truth.
What's the truth?
She said it 3 times. But this right here is like a movie, and I mean that with all due respect, because she broke it down. And they knew. And listen what she said about Riley.
Adio Ortiz. And if anybody can't see that, they're blind.
Okay. 10 hours of her life was spent on the porch with Gina
Our son,
Mahoney.
15 years old.
Cousin Ann wasn't playing games. Listen to her in the back.
10 hours of her life was spent on the porch with Gina
Our son,
Mahoney.
10 hours of her life was spent. Listen, they're bringing the facts. They're on the in the front of Cambridge Jail, Cambridge Courthouse, whatever. I call it Cambridge Jail because from the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th floor is the jail. And that's where your boy J.F.K. actually met Eddie O'Brien. But I was in Bill Ricker House of Correction on a work release type thing, and I bumped into him. I was cleaning up there, and he was there. I couldn't miss him. 6'2", big baby face, big dude. Everybody knew the case. This case is huge. But it was the stigma of this case. The 98 times of a stabbing, how she died, the way he worded it, sexual obsession. Once you add that sexual obsession to it, it kind of makes it like a rape case. Even though there was no rape, be clear, there was no rape. But still, then you ask yourself this question, ladies and gentlemen. How do you go to state prison at 17 years old and at 45 years old, you still are one of the boys in the prison? And when I mean one of the boys, I mean nobody ever touched him or put a finger on him for a sexual obsession case. If you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to jail with a rape case, you are not accepted by the population. You will be discredited, slapped up, beat up every chance you get. Nobody likes a sex crime. Nobody. Even people who will break into your car and take your radio. They find honor in that. They don't find no honor in sexual crimes. You can get a radio back. You can't get innocence back. Would you believe it? And Eddie, they believed Eddie because Eddie showed paperwork. He proved his case to the old schoolers because that's what they do. Hey, kid, you're innocent? I'm innocent. I didn't do it. Oh, yeah? Well, show me the paperwork. He shows paperwork. And the paperwork, it says there's DNA that they tested that wasn't his underneath their fingernails. Well, the guys in the jail know how this works. What do you mean there's DNA underneath this woman's fingernails and they ran it and it wasn't yours? And why didn't they continue running it? And what this guy, Riley, he became he was the district attorney. And then when you had a bail reduction and they were about to let you out, a woman judge was about to let you free, he turned around and he went to a higher court and got it knocked off. And then Governor Weld went in front of the State House in 1995, 96, whenever it was, around that period of time, and said, we're not letting this man out of jail. This man, he was 15 years old, 16. He wasn't a man, he was a kid. They wanted to try him as an adult. 17 years old, Walpole State Prison, one of the worst prisons. Go to YouTube, Google Walpole State Prison. You want me to spell it out? It's Walpole. I know I have an accent. I get it. But do you like the movie Good Will Hunting? Well, if you like that, then you'll like me. Would you believe it? Trisha got the accent. Holy shit, Trisha. She got the Boston accent. I mean, she's right there. She's from Somerville. I mean, Somerville is Boston. And that's what I mean. I mean, Somerville is Boston. You could walk to Boston from Somerville. If you didn't know, now you know. These are factual statements. You can walk from Somerville to the North End. It's not a far walk. Somerville to Faneuil Hall, Somerville to the Museum of Science. It's not a far walk, even though Museum of Science is in Cambridge. But still, it's right there. To the Garden, kid. It's not far. It's right there. This is old Boston. This is Massachusetts. The front row seat of corruption that you've seen with Karen Reed, yes, you've seen it, but this has been going on. And she told Riley what was up. She said the last 10 hours of her life, she was on the stoop talking about how afraid of Artie she was. And keep in mind, at this particular moment, Eddie goes into a cell. He's going upstate to Walpole State Prison at 17 years old, and he never got a hand put to him. He's one of the guys 30 years later. People from the inside all say he's not guilty. But your man Riley made up a way to make this a case that no one wants to touch. And it worked in his favor because now poor Eddie been in jail 30 years, and it's hard to really, a lot of people don't want to touch it because of how raunchy this case sounds. And that's the reason why he wrote it the way he wrote it. He wrote a story, a beginning and a middle and an end, but he left out the part where she was on the stairs for the 10 hours of her life, talking about how scared she was, how paranoid she was, because she was afraid of Adi Ortiz, the same guy who showed up to the scene looking for a key that got a car towed. The same person that a police officer wrote a report saying he gave the key back. The same person who says that the cab company towed the car back to the cab company. Did I say that right? That the cab company tow truck came out and towed the car. Come to find out later, it wasn't the cab company. It was a private tow company, and who knows where he towed it. And keep in mind, Eddie O'Brien had no blood on his clothes. He had no blood on his clothes. He jumped off the stoop at 9:10. He got to Ryan's house, say 9:15, the latest. Right across the street, we'll say. He was seen running out the house at 9:30, right? So that means in 15 minutes, he stabbed her 98 times, stabbed a bra 36 times, then went down to Burger King, washed up, where allegedly he got all the blood off him. An ocean of blood. But the problem with that is, ladies and gentlemen, the CPAC unit went to Burger King and they didn't find nothing. So this 15-year-old kid can magically make blood disappear. He can magically get rid of a murder weapon. He can magically get rid of another shirt that he was wearing over the shirt that he was seen in all day in. And no one can find this stuff? A whole fucking CPAC unit can't find it? Or is it just he didn't do it? Talk to him, Trisha.
15 years old. I mean, give me a break. He did this in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. He killed her. He dressed her, redressed her, cut her throat. Give me a break.
10 hours of her life was spent on the porch with Gina Mahoney.
15 years old. I mean, give me a break. He did this in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. He killed her. He dressed her, redressed her, cut her throat. Give me a break.
10 hours of her life was spent on the porch with Gina Mahoney.
15 years old.
Gina Mahoney.
15 years old. I mean, give me a break. He did this in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. He killed her. He dressed her, redressed her, cut her throat. I mean, give me a break. He did this in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. He killed her. He dressed her, redressed her, cut her throat. Give me a break. He dressed her, redressed her, cut her throat. Give me a break. He dressed her, redressed her, cut her throat.
The 10 hours of her life was spent on the porch with Gina Mahoney.
15 years old. I mean, give me a break.
Was spent on the porch with Gina
Our son,
Mahoney.
15 years old. I mean, give me a break. He did this in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. He killed her. He dressed her, redressed her, cut her throat. Give me a break. This is a joke. Mr. Riley should be ashamed of himself.
9 hours telling me.
These cops lied on the stand and was proven they lied on the stand, okay? You have
Now keep in mind, Eddie O'Brien, Big Ed, great guy, well spoken. I mean, you gotta love Eddie O'Brien. I fucking love this guy. I mean, I love the 2026 Eddie O'Brien, but the 1997 Eddie O'Brien, I wouldn't fuck with him, man. In 97, he was like the dad, like of the neighborhood, like, hey, how you doing, Randy? I'm doing good, Mr. O'Brien. Doing great. He's the type of guy that would give you like $10 and shit and say, hey, you hungry? Go buy a sub. Like, he's one of them guys. Nice fucking guy. You could just tell a neighborhood dude, man. He's not even shitting on anybody. Like, he's being calm. He's bringing the facts. His son just got life in prison for murder. And he's bringing the facts. He's not even shitting on the police. Like I be on, those that know J.F.K. know I go on rants, right? And I'll be saying sometimes I say some wild things, right? And I'm getting tongue-tied just thinking about it, and I'll go back and I'll listen. I'll say, Jesus, God damn, I need to calm the fuck down. But he was being calm, like breaking down the points. He didn't even shit on the police department. He said, you're putting down good police officers. You know what I mean? Like, they lie. They're corrupt police. But you know what? Not all police are corrupt. That's what he was saying. He still was giving the police the benefit of the doubt. He still wasn't shitting on all police. That goes to show you where his state of mind's at. Any other person would just say, fuck the police. You feel what I'm trying to say? Does that make sense? Sorry for the curses. Muted rants for real, Rocker. I thought I was just muted again. Damn, son. I was like, man. Jesus, what did Norman say? I gotta find him. Adi took a cat in a cat box that Janet's children didn't know that they even had. For real. Do we know if he was disliked as the chief? I don't know. I mean, you can ask Ed. If Ed's here, Ed will answer anything you want when it comes to stuff he can answer. And I think he can answer that question. If Ed is anything like his dad, I don't think he was disliked. Ed's a fair dude, man. He's a neighborhood guy. Like, he gives people a chance. This guy was cool with the unfortunate people in the neighborhood and the people who were doing good. Like, he's a neighborhood type dude. You could just tell. Like, he doesn't shit on any. You could just tell where his heart's at. There's just some people who have the it. And you could look at him in 1997 and see him with his wife. Like, he is telling the truth, man. It's just one of those things, man. He's not a scumbag. You could see a scumbag. He's not a scumbag. 9-7 Ed. My man right there. You can't please everyone. For sure, Big Ed. But Big Ed, 9-7 Big Ed, yo, you don't want to mess with 9-7 Big Ed. And this is, and I hate to say it that way. I'm trying to make light of a bad situation. This is their life. And I want to be clear. I'm not trying to exploit it, but I just want you to I'm trying to take myself back 30 years. If I ran into Ed, because I was a younger gentleman back then. And you just know Ed's not a scumbag. And like, even if you're a thief, even if you're in the streets, and even if you just work a 9 to 5, you would respect Ed O'Brien, Big Ed O'Brien. He's just one of them guys you would respect because he has respect for everybody. Does that make sense?
Riley should be ashamed of himself.
And he even said it nice. He said Mr. Riley should be ashamed of himself. Like, he could have said anything else. He should be ashamed of himself. Like, come on. In 2026, what would we be saying right now?
Dressed to cut her throat. Give me a break. This is a joke. Mr. Riley should be ashamed of himself.
9 hours telling me.
These cops lied on the stand and was proven they lied on the stand, okay? You had Stanford, you had Stanford and you had that Firmino in there lying to death. But Mr. Pino gets on the stand and says they were lying. But what does that mean? 2 police officers get up there and lie on the stand. They gave a black eye to every good policeman in this state.
Listen to that. They gave a black eye to every good policeman in this state. Does that sound like a guy that would lie if his son did something like this? Does that sound like a guy who don't care for Janet Downing? Come on, man. You all caught up, Adi?
They should be ashamed of themselves to put a 15-year-old kid away for life. But it's not over. We got the appeal, and I'm telling you right now, I will die. Before my son's been away for life. But it's not over. We got the appeal, and I'm telling you right now, I will die away for life. But it's not over. We got the appeal, and I'm telling you right now, I will die. 15-year-old kid away for life. But it's not over. We got the appeal, and I'm telling you right now, I will die.
God damn.
Static Selector. Why did a cop give Adi the key back? It was evidence. You're right. Michigan. 7-8. J.F.K, you have such a big heart. I stand with you, Kevy Kev. James Jackson and Jay Brill. Justice for Eddie and all the innocent for sure. Thank you so much. I will die. I will die. Let me tell you something, man. Tonight, you know what I learned tonight? That motivated me, man. That right there, that's a movie, man. Like, and like I said, I want to say it one more time because I know that Eddie and Trish is in the chat. This is their life. They didn't script this shit. But goddamn, man, like this, like that shit sent chills through my body. I will die. But you know what? We're going to try to get Eddie home in 2026. We're going to keep shedding light on this case, Big Ed, because we want you to have some more time with your son. This is all written. God got us. Nothing good happens after midnight for Riley, for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Nothing good happens for our enemies. No, 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 no. But everything happens good for us because we rest in God. We rest in God.
Has to after this.
The evil little man of Mr. Riley get on that stand and rip my son apart?
Patricia,
No.
beyond the question of whether Eddie should testify, I just want
They gave a black eye to every good policeman in this state, and they should be ashamed of themselves to put a 15-year-old kid away for life. But it's not over. We got the appeal, and I'm telling you right now, I will die before my son spends any more time in jail than he has to after this.
The evil little man.
Any more time in jail than he has to after this.
The evil little man of Mr. Riley get on.
Any more time in jail than he has to after this.
The evil little man of Mr. Riley get on that stand.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, man. That is great. You all caught up, Artie? You all caught up, Riley? That evil little man? Man, she is so old school, man. Ma Dukes is the best, man. She is the best. Love that woman. For real, Norman Corey. Ladies and gentlemen, if you had one word to describe.
And rip my son apart?
One word to describe the lovely Trisha. Oh, am I saying that right? Trisha, right? Yeah. I call her Ma Dukes. I'm sorry. If you had one word to describe Ma Dukes, what would it be?
Static Selector.
They gave a black eye to every good policeman in this state. And they should be ashamed of themselves to put a 15-year-old kid away for life. But it's not over. We got the appeal, and I'm telling you right now, I will die.
If you had one word for Big Ed O'Brien, what would it be? One word for Big Ed O'Brien. Come on, let's hype it up though. Eddie O'Brien, Big Ed. God damn. Let's go for Big Ed.
before my son spends any more time in jail than he has to after this.
Mr. Riley get on that stand and rip my son apart?
Patricia,
No.
beyond the question of whether Eddie should testify, I just want, it's been more than 2
Artie
years, your
Ortez
reaction. Patricia,
No.
beyond the question of whether Eddie should testify, I just want, it's been more than 2
Artie
years, your
Ortez.
reaction.
Artie Ortez murdered Janet Downing.
It's been more than 2
Artie
years, your
Ortez.
reaction.
Artie Ortez murdered Janet Downing.
It's been more than 2
Artie
years, your
Ortez.
reaction.
Artie Ortez murdered Janet Downing.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. This one's explosive.
Beyond the question of whether Eddie should testify, I just want, it's been more than 2
Artie
years, your
Ortez.
reaction.
Artie Ortez murdered Janet Downing. That's it.
R.I.P. the lovely Janet Downing. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my presentation. It's now 9 p.m. I will see you guys back here at 12 p.m. if you guys want to join me for my swim lessons. Swim good. This is part 37. We're here. We're going for 1,000 episodes. We had Janet, we had Eddie, we had Margot Nash in the chat. We had the Long Gamers. This is our baby, so to speak. This is our case, Long Gamers. We're here to fight for justice. We're going to keep peeling back the layers. We're going to keep talking about it. We're going to have that conversation, and we're going to keep spreading awareness. If little Ed, well, obviously it ain't little Ed. He's 6'7", 250 pounds. The smaller Ed, the younger Ed, Ed O'Brien up in Gardner. If you're listening, what up, my brother? Hope all is well. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to the O'Briens, Margot Nash, and all my Long Gamers. Of course, I go by the name of J.F.K. Thank you for stopping by, hanging out with me tonight. And you know how this goes, right? Peace and love.
Yeah. Yo. Summer of 1995, hot night in July. Why did Janet have to die? This is the story of Eddie, Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The system is petty, juvenile law and politics so deadly. 15 years old, known as Big Lovable Teddy. Janet Downing, 42 years old, what's the motive? Killed in her home, young mother devoted. Eddie went in the house, the door was open. She was on the kitchen floor, laying there frozen. Eddie claims this was not what he planned to see. A man with a mask grabbed him. Be quiet. I will kill your whole family. Eddie left the house, ran up the street. Around the corner, washed up in the bathroom at Burger King. Janet was stabbed multiple times. Rest in peace. It was a gruesome murder scene. I agree. Eddie went to his work, said he got jumped, but never said a thing. What? About Janet lying there lifeless. His friend's mother from across the street. Shh. He was in the house. But Janet had a brother-in-law she kicked out for selling drugs. Said if anything ever happened to her, it's him you bring up. The night of the murder he showed up, was acting suspicious in the front yard. Gina in Virginia says he was looking for his keys. It was humid and muggy, but we were showered and neat. He was a cab driver looking for his key. Looking for a key to one of the cabs in the fleet. Yes. How did he know something happened on that street? Eddie says he is innocent, and the cab driver did it.
Who do you believe?
Believe.
DNA under Janet's fingernail, unidentified. Who do you believe?
Come on, come on.
This is the story of Eddie, 15 years old.
Life in prison.
This is the story of Janet
for no reason.
It was the summer.
July 1995.
Do you all remember?
30 years ago, why she have to die?
15 years old, locked in a cage, a murder that he always denied.
Let's go. Summer of 95. Life goes by. Welcome to the stream. Long gamers. Peace and love. La la la. Let's take them back.